Hey guys, going to design our art panel. So already we have done kōwhaiwhai, which is cool because those patterns help tell a story. So maybe you might include those kind of patterns in your artwork. But today what we're going to do is look at a little bit of your history of Holy Trinity Primary School. So we're going to look at your patrons, which you all know who they are, Ihaka Takanini and Governor Gray. I want you to work in pairs and choose one of those, either the four patrons, Bishop Pompelia, Suzanne Aubert, St. Mary MacKillop, or Bishop Patrick Dunn. Choose one of them, or Ihaka Takanini, or Governor Gray. So you've got 6 to choose from. In your pair, choose one, and you're going to research, just a little bit of research into it, and then we're going to create an artwork explaining that person in a visual means. And then we're going to connect some lights to it using our circuitry that we did last week. So with that being said, I'm going to show you what I've done so far, then hopefully you can work along this for the next couple of weeks. Alright team, so what I've done, I've chosen to do Venerable Suzanne Aubert. I've done a little bit of research on who she is as a person. So we know that she is the founder of the Sisters of Compassion. She has a strong spiritual leadership grounded in prayer and service. And in doing that, she worked closely with Māori communities, learning te reo and respected tikanga Māori. So understanding our people, who they are, what they're all about, their values, their protocols, learning the language, which is so cool to know. And I can already start to think, when I'm thinking of artwork, I can start to see how I could incorporate kōwhaiwhai, or the patterns that we've already learnt about. The next main focus for Suzanne Aubert was social action. So she was a healthcare pioneer. So she provided nursing and used like herbal remedies. So when I think of that, I think of any kind of natural trees or shrubbery, plants to kind of help get people better. So I like that idea, because if I think of a kuru, you know, we learnt through our couple of weeks ago, the kuru is off the fern plant. She was an advocate for the poor, established homes for orphans, the elderly, single mothers, etc. in Wellington. So I've also, alongside this, put some little symbols of what I could include in my artwork. So the other thing that I have done, which I quite like the idea of, I will provide your teachers with these stencils. I have stenciled Suzanne Aubert. When I come to do my final one, maybe I will provide them, I'll laser cut them for us all, and then maybe we could paint them if you want to use that. You don't have to, you can draw it yourself if you like. So I've taken the idea of Suzanne Aubert. I like the idea of these symbols. Okay, just 1 minute. Faith, the hands giving, the candle to represent the light of Christ, social action, the heart, the house, the rosary, and then cultural understandings. I really like this idea of partnership, you know, shaking hands with someone, unity, working together, and the kurawai. Now, if we think of a kurawai, which is a Māori cloak, it's got all the beautiful feathers and it's got the band around the top, all with significance to leadership, to protection, that kind of idea. Not quite sure what this drawing is. And the kuru, which we already know about. So I've kind of taken all these ideas together through my mind map, my brainstorming. I started to sketch. So today in your pairs, I want you to sketch out what your work would look like. So this is what I've created so far. So if I put her in the middle, so I've created the love heart, and if you remember the kōwhai nutu kaka, which is symbolic of the the pod off the kowhai tree, that kind of S shape, which is also representative of maybe herbal remedies or healthcare. It is also a sign of growth and protection. I've got the kuru down the bottoms there, which is symbolic of growth. And then in here, I'm going to draw the hands. So maybe I might trace them. I might trace that, and I'll put it on that side as well. I quite like how that's symmetrical. This is representative of a wharenui or a meeting house, but also the fact that she advocated for the poor, establishing homes. So I like that idea of home. And down the bottom here, I actually looked further into the idea of a kurawai. And if we think of a kurawai, it's actually got this beautiful band around the top, which is called a taniko band. And this one, if I finish it, like I might just add some more design to it. It is representative of Aramoana. So it will look something similar to that. The pathways of sea represents journey, movement, and connection. And I really like that idea because she made such a strong connection to her, to the Maori culture. So I'm going to finish that, and then I thought what would look beautiful if I actually attach real feathers to the bottom of it. Once it's actually fully complete, quite hard to see that because they are white, but I'll attach it so it almost looks like a kurawai. So it's not just drawing, it's artwork. I quite like that idea, but that was just my ideas. The other thing which I think I need to incorporate might be, I might have faith written along here. And the last thing I need would be her name. So I think I would do it quite big. Write that out there. I'll do some nicer lettering at a later date. But what I want you to do is hopefully by the time I come back in next week, when we can actually draw this properly on our like a final good copy, you have your draft ready. You could put the colors in, but that's not important because it might take you some time to like research this and actually put it into action or to draw it out. But do think about what colors they could be. So what I would do with this and what I will bring next week will be stencils if you are choosing to do, who do we have here? Bishop Pompelia, St. Mary MacKillop, Ihaka Takanini, Bishop Pompelia, and oh, I have Governor Grey, but oh, there he is, he's on the back. And Governor Grey, that's quite detailed, that might be quite hard to do, but if you would like to use that as a stencil, I'll bring them next week and we can put some paint on it, and then we'll draw these using acrylic paint pens, the rest of it. So we'll plan it all out and we'll create an art piece. Finally, the last thing that we will do, is add in some lights. So what I might do is add like lights around Suzanne O'Bear here, LED lights like what we did with the cards, just so I know it's like it's highlighting her. Maybe I could have had lights through here. I think a maximum of 6 lights total. Now that's quite a lot because we have to start thinking about a series circuit. So go away, do your planning, do a little bit of research on the person that you are going to do, start to draw it out with your partner, draw it on an A3 so you see that this is an A3 piece of paper. I've just folded the top down to make it narrower, and have an idea where your LEDs would be and maybe an idea of your colors. It has to be light pencil, don't worry about going too dark, it's just a sketch, it's just a draft. We'll come back next week, do our final copy before we start doing our electrical circuits. Good luck, team.